Our first speaker to start us off this evening is a publisher and writer. He is the author of 2 independently published novels, one of which is an award-winning historical novel based on the history and legends of Block Island. He is the founder and president of the Association of Rhode Island Authors, which has grown in just 3 years to include over 180 members. There might be one in the audience, maybe? He and his wife Dawn live in Gloucester, where they own and operate Stillwater River Publications to help local writers publish their own original works. Telling us about America's addiction to the narrative, please welcome Mr. Stephen Porter to the stage.
You are all addicts. Every one of you. You are all addicted to the narrative. If you watch any kind of television news program, cable or otherwise, you are addicted to narrative. If you listen to talk radio in your car, at work, or at home, you are addicted to narrative. If you share Facebook messages on social or political issues, you are addicted to narrative. If you can't wait to get home to watch American Idol, Porn Stars, Survivor, Top Chef, Biggest Losers, Hoarders, Duck Dynasty, Sister Wives, or any of the other scripted reality TV shows, you are addicted to narrative. If you've checked your phone and posted to Twitter since you've been sitting in this audience, you are addicted to narrative. If you know why people are sitting together in matching bathtubs or have elephants sitting on their chest, you are addicted to narrative. And if you're here tonight to listen to great ideas in small 5-minute bites, you're addicted. We're all addicted. But this addiction is crushing our culture, our politics, and our way of life. So how did this happen? Let's start with Batman. Everybody remembers Batman from the 1960s. Batman offered every child a perfect structure to figure out this crazy world. Drink your milk, wear your seatbelt, good guys are always good, bad guys are always bad, police are always friendly and Irish. The bad guys are conveniently labeled G-O-O-N, and even the hideouts are crooked. No moral ambiguity, no questions at all. As a child trying to understand a dangerous world, Batman made it easy. And if there was ever trouble, I knew he'd be there to save us. But somewhere through the years, our generation forgot that these stories, these narratives, these moral tales are not true. Honey Boo Boo does not live her life in 22-minute story arcs, with climax, 3 commercial breaks, and denouement. And neither do you. Even as adults, we yearn for that simplicity. Narrative is the fabric of storytelling. As a novelist, I use it as a tool. It's a technique. It's a trick of the light to get you to believe or think something. As a writer, I want you to think or believe. And I know you never remember the most accurate narrative. You remember the one that's most interesting. Humans are hotwired for storytelling. For thousands of years, cultures have used storytelling to communicate. Yet somewhere along the way, we stopped using them to learn and instead adopted them to justify our lives. A shortcut, a lazy replacement for critical thinking. Many of these narratives have labels. Conservative, liberal, Christian, Muslim, patriotic, atheist. Too many to name, and no doubt as addicts, you've adopted a few of these of your own. For example, here are 3 hot-button political issues. Abortion, taxation, military spending. If I say I'm a liberal, you immediately know how I think on those 3 issues. Yet if I tell you I'm a conservative, your opinion of me will completely change. You assume I embody the narrative. And if I choose to accept only part of the narrative, you call me hipster. And when differing narratives collide, the results are often quite upsetting. You might remember in 2006, a woman accused 3 Duke lacrosse players of rape. The story took the country by storm. You probably remember it. There were expulsions, criminal charges, lawsuits, all sorts of backlash. The problem was that rape never happened. When Newsweek editor Evan Thomas was criticized for his rush to judgment coverage, he defended his magazine saying, "We were right. The narrative is properly about race, sex, and class. We just got the facts wrong." But blaming the media is a cop-out. It's not their fault. They're only delivering the stories because you want to hear them. It's why you listen. Remember the great 1962 movie, Man Who Shot Liberty Valance? John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm going to spoil it, so it's been out for 50 years, so, you know, you've had a chance. The film's about a popular politician who made his reputation in the Old West by killing a dangerous gunfighter. Now, years later, he sits down with a reporter to set the record straight. It was a lie. He didn't actually shoot the guy after all. When he's done telling the real story, the reporter throws his notes into the fire and utters one of the greatest lines in American film history. This is the West, sir. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. Blindly accept the narratives, and you become nothing more than the puppet of the storyteller. Instead of calling Batman, maybe Commissioner Gordon should use that bat phone to call a locksmith, put some new locks on the insane asylum. Poverty in America is a solvable problem. Racism is a solvable problem. Hunger is a solvable problem. Unemployment is solvable, yet these issues become entrenched when we refuse to recognize our addiction to our own personal narratives. It is no longer the West. We cannot continue to simply accept the narrative. Thank you.